Hey everyone, my name is Joseph Luswabi, and I'll be taking you through an introduction to neoplasia. From this slide, you can actually appreciate that we are having a look at how the normal cell development actually looks, a cell dividing normally. And then this is probably from the upper side. Then here you're seeing the abnormal cell growth, whereby the normal cell is going to be dividing, and then there is going to be a genetic code change, and then the cell is going to lose probably its proliferating control, and then it just abnormally grows, resulting into a malignant tumor. So these are things that we are going to appreciate. Then we see here that we have a neoplasia where we have abnormal and excessive growth of the cells, and then the dysplasia where we are seeing the change of size, shape, and arrangement of the cells. Okay, let's dip into and then we see how this happens. First of all, someone would be interested to understand, what does neoplasia mean? So first of all, neoplasia means abnormal new growth. It is all derived from the word neo means new, and the word plasia means growth. So when we combine it and then it is in the abnormality, then it becomes the abnormal normal growth. When we are to define neoplasm, it would basically refer, because neoplasm is now that tissue that has been deposited. Neoplasia is the process. So neoplasm refers to the abnormal mass of tissue whose growth exceeds and is uncoordinated to that of the normal, even with the cessation of the external stimuli. So you're looking at something that is going to grow excessively beyond normal, and it's going to be uncoordinated, meaning there is no stimuli to induce growth, but this tissue is actually growing. As it is growing, it's growing abnormally. That is something interesting that we need to also appreciate. A synonym to neoplasm would be tumors. So we've seen neoplasia is basically the process by which the abnormal mass of tissue whose growth will exceed and is uncoordinated to that of the normal, even with cessation of the external stimuli. So how it is going to develop, that is neoplasia. Now, some interesting definitions that one needs to also pay some concentration on when we are talking about neoplasms would be, now the first one is oncology. Oncology is basically the study of neoplasms or tumors. The oncologists are the individuals who are doing this study. So individuals who specialize in study of tumors. Oncogenesis, you're looking at how is it actually coming up. So it's a process by which a normal cell are transformed into cancer cells. Carcinogenesis, you're looking at the process of development of malignant tumors. Tumors or mass. A tumor or mass would basically, it is how the simple understanding is basically a swelling or a physical appearance of a neoplasm. When you see some abnormality that is growing, that's a tumor. It's because of actually the neoplasm appearance. So that is the appreciation that we wanted to have. Now, someone would want to know what would be the difference between neoplasia and hyperplasia. Please, these things, normally people confuse them in one or the other, but let's actually appreciate, and then we can actually differentiate them, and we should always remember them. The features or parameters that we're going to consider for differentiating, we are going to consider three. First of all is the control of the proliferation cell, like who is in control. So in hyperplasia, the body is still in control, so it is normal. It can happen in a normal tissue. When we go to neoplasia, it has lost the proliferation control, it's uncontrolled. Stimuli presence. In hyperplasia, we are looking at actually having, it depends on the stimulus. Neoplasm, it is independent of the stimuli, because even in absence, it's going to still now grow. The cell differentiation. In hyperplasia, the cells are well differentiated, meaning they are more or less like similar to what is existing ideally under normal circumstances, or they are well, probably you're looking at the specialization. It is happening within the same organ, so the organs will actually have the same cells. In neoplasia, this varies, so you cannot say actually it's the same. They are variable cells. So I hope that is actually taken very well. Now, the nomenclature of tumors. Someone is going to come and cover this even more in more details, but what I would want us to do is to see or get an oversight. Yes, so nomenclature of tumors can be based on three techniques. How we name tumors can be based on three things. The first one is where these tumors, the cells, the cell tissues, and origin of the organ of origin. So that is the most important. You're looking at where they and what cells of the tissues are actually being involved. Then we look at the pattern of growth, how is it growing, and then the biological behavior. As I've said, someone will actually come and actually cover this. Now let's first dig into the two major types of tumors that we normally have. We have two tumors that are normally that are very, very, very common, and that is the benign tumor and the malignant tumor. Now we need to appreciate these tumors because we are going to see them much more often, and we need to be able to differentiate them. A benign neoplasm, you're going to basically see, I'm going to share with you how best, or what are the traits of a benign neoplasm and malignant neoplasm. So a benign neoplasm would basically grow in a particular organ. Its growth is not aggressive. That is, first of all, it is not very fast. Then two, they don't invade the surrounding body tissues. So meaning if it is in a particular area, it will remain in that area. It will not go to another tissue. Three, it has distinct borders, meaning you can actually demarcate it or you can actually extract it out. And four, they do not spread throughout the body. We are going to appreciate these facts when we now go to the malignant tumors. So when we are naming benign tumors, we normally have a suffix, oma. So the suffix means that is the end of the word or the end of the name of the tumor, which is benign, so it will remain with oma. And the meaning of oma is basically tumor. The prefix or the first letters that come to the word will be denoting the cell or the tumor. This is depending. We are going to appreciate this when someone now comes and does the nomenclature. Now, these tumors, they are not problematic, only that their growth can actually result into compression of the nearby structures. For example, you see this tumor, this benign tumor is actually in the lung, but it's compressing onto the trachea, meaning it's going to narrow the air passage. So that is how best they can become disastrous. And also in some cases, they can actually progress into malignant tumors if they are not well taken care of early. Now, malignant tumors. This picture that we have put here is actually helping you to appreciate or to show you the movement and the spreading. So malignant tumors, on the other hand, they tend to grow rapidly. They are very, very fast. They invade surrounding tissues. Then they spread or metastasize. So meaning they are looking at moving all over the body to other body parts. And the process by which they are spreading all over is called actually metastasis. So metastasis is the process by which these tumors are moving all over and can occur anywhere, but most common in the liver, the brain, the bones, and the lungs. When we are naming these malignant tumors, the suffix oma still comes with carcino or sarco for the epithelial and the mesenchymal tissue. So that will be also more appreciated as we're doing the nomenclature.
And only malignant tumors are cancers. Only malignant tumors are cancers. This should not be confused that every tumor that you see is actually a cancer. It's only those that are malignant that are cancers. Hope we've appreciated that. Let's see the next point. So let's appreciate the differences between the malignant and the benign tumors. So we are having features which we are going to base on to actually differentiate, and then the what happens in the benign and the malignant tumors. The first one is the rate of growth. Benign tumors basically have a very slow growth, and the malignant are rapid growers, so they grow so fast. When you look at the growth limit, the benign tumors are circumscribed, meaning they are going to grow in a very specific area. They are not going to go to other tissues. When you look at the malignant, for them, they are unrestricted. Their growth is going to be all over. They are eating up everything that is nearby. Capsule presence. Benign tumors have a capsule, and the malignant do not have a capsule, so the capsule is absent. Differentiation or resemblance of the normal cells. The benign tumors are more or less like the normal cells. They are well differentiated. And the malignant, they have variable differentiations. These cells are also anaplastic. In one or the other, they are losing the differentiation. That's the meaning of anaplastic. Mode of growth. Benign tumors are expansion. They have an expansion mode of growth. And the malignant, for them, they are invasive, meaning they are going to attack all over. They are attacking, just like the way someone will tell you, you are invading me, you are entering into their territory. These ones, for them, they expand, they just expand, but the malignant, for them, they actually attack new areas. Metastasis. Malignant are frequently metastasis. We saw metastasis is the process by which they are going to actually spread all over, and that is something that I've clearly shown here. They are frequent. And the benign, they are non-metastasis. Reoccurrence after treatment. You will find rare cases where benign tumors reoccur. But after treatment of malignant tumors, they are so frequent in reoccurrence. The regression and growth cessation. So, benign tumors normally can actually have the experience, they normally regress and their growth can actually cease. The malignant, it is very rare for them to actually regress. The prognosis of benign tumors is good, and the prognosis of malignant is guarded or grave, meaning we are saying it is a hopeless prognosis. We are hopeless about, we don't know whether someone will actually cure. So thank you very much. So someone will be able to take you through the next process, and thank you for the time for you to appreciate the neoplasms. Bye-bye.